3 years ago, Park So-young jumped from the 23rd floor of a Seoul luxury hotel. The police ruled it suicide in less than 24 hours. Case closed. But what if I told you that everything about her death was a lie? Everyone believed the story. The troubled, aspiring actress, the drugs in her system, the suicide note on her phone. Even her own sister accepted it. Until she found something the killers thought they'd destroyed forever. You see, Min-jung wasn't just So-young's older sister. She was one of South Korea's top data forensics analysts. And when she was assigned to recover data from a celebrity's damaged phone for a simple harassment case, she had no idea she was about to uncover evidence of her sister's murder. What she found on that phone would expose a criminal empire built on the bodies of innocent women, an empire run by one of Korea's most beloved celebrities. Choi Sung-ho, former K-pop idol, current nightclub owner, the man every mother wanted their daughter to marry. His Phoenix Club was where Seoul's elite came to play. But behind the VIP rooms and champagne towers was something far more sinister. Min-jung discovered her sister wasn't his first victim. She wasn't even his 10th. The trafficking ring had been operating for years, protected by corrupt police, funded by chaebols, and hidden behind the perfect smile of Korea's golden boy. The police had already buried the case once. The justice system had failed, so Min-jung made a decision that would transform her from a quiet tech analyst into something far more dangerous. A woman with nothing left to lose, the skills to destroy an empire, and 3 years of grief transformed into cold, calculated rage. This is the story of how one woman brought down Korea's most powerful trafficking ring, not with violence, not with pleas for justice, but with the one weapon they never saw coming, the truth they thought they'd deleted forever. My name is Min-jung, and this is how I burned down the Phoenix. But to understand how it all ended, we need to go back to where it began. 3 years after So-young's death, Tuesday morning, the data recovery lab, and a damaged phone that would change everything. Tuesday, October 15th, 9:47 a.m. I'd been working at Digital Forensics Korea for 18 months. 18 months of recovering deleted texts from cheating husbands' phones. 18 months of pulling financial records from damaged hard drives. 18 months of pretending I was okay. My supervisor, Director Kang, dropped the phone on my desk like it was nothing special. Just another celebrity scandal. Another NDA to sign. Another day of cleaning up rich people's messes. Priority case, he said. The client's lawyer needs everything recovered by end of week. Harassment lawsuit. You know how these celebrity cases are. Probably just some sasang fan drama. The phone was gold. Of course it was. Limited edition. The kind that cost more than most people's cars. The screen was shattered in a spiderweb pattern, like someone had taken a hammer to it, or thrown it from a very high place. I should have known something was wrong when I saw the case number, when I saw which law firm was handling it. These weren't harassment lawsuit lawyers. These were the kind of lawyers who made problems disappear. It took me 4 hours to bypass the encryption. 4 hours of careful work, rebuilding corrupted data sectors, recovering deleted partitions. The phone had been professionally wiped, or at least someone had tried to wipe it professionally. But there's always something left behind. Always ghosts in the machine. The first files to recover were recent. Text messages from the last week before the phone was destroyed. Boring stuff. Meeting schedules. Dinner reservations at restaurants I could never afford. Instagram DMs from verified accounts with blue check marks. Then I went deeper. 3 months back. 6 months. A year. That's when I found the hidden partition. You have to understand, most people don't know phones can have hidden partitions. Secret storage spaces that don't show up in normal file systems. The kind of thing you'd need specialized software to even detect. The kind of thing someone would only use if they had something serious to hide. The partition was encrypted separately. military-grade protection. It took another 2 hours to crack it. 2 hours of my heart rate climbing, knowing that whatever was behind that encryption was worth protecting. When it finally opened, I found myself staring at 47 gigabytes of videos. The thumbnails loaded slowly, one by one, each showing a different young woman's face. And then I saw her. Third row, fourth video from the left. So young. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely click the file. The video was dated 3 days before her death. 3 days before she supposedly jumped. She was in a private room, red velvet walls, gold fixtures. I recognized it immediately. Phoenix Club's VIP suite. The same room from the celebrity Instagram posts. The same room where idols held their private parties. But So Young wasn't partying. She was unconscious, drugged, and she wasn't alone. I won't describe what I saw. I can't. Even now, months later, I can't put it into words. But I watched all 17 minutes. I had to. I had to know what they did to my sister. The man holding the camera was talking, giving instructions, laughing, and I recognized the voice. Everyone in Korea would recognize that voice. Choi Sung-ho, the nation's boyfriend, the golden boy of K-pop. But it wasn't just him. There were others. Faces I couldn't make out clearly. Voices discussing prices, discussing clients, discussing how to handle So Young when she started to wake up, when she started to fight back. The next video was worse. So Young was conscious, crying, begging. They were forcing her to read something off a phone screen. A suicide note. Her suicide note. The exact words the police had found on her phone. "I'm sorry for disappointing everyone. The pressure was too much. Please don't blame anyone. This is my choice." They made her read it 15 times until she got it right, until it sounded natural. The timestamp showed 2:34 a.m. She was found dead at 6:15 a.m. I should have stopped there, should have taken the evidence straight to the police. But I kept watching. Video after video, girl after girl. They all followed the same pattern. Young women, usually aspiring actresses or models, invited to Phoenix Club for an exclusive opportunity. Drugged drinks, hidden cameras. Then the blackmail would start. Perform for our VIP clients, or we release the videos. Most complied out of fear. The ones who didn't. There were 17 who didn't. 17 suicides over 5 years. 17 girls who threatened to expose them. 17 police reports that were buried within days. And every single death was preceded by a video of them reading their suicide notes. I found the client lists, government officials, chaebol heirs, entertainment executives, even judges, even prosecutors. A whole ecosystem of predators, protected by money and power. And at the center of it all was Choi Sung-ho, not just a participant, the ringmaster, the one who recruited the girls, the one who managed the operations, the one who decided who lived and who died. The phone contained everything. Financial records showing payments of hundreds of millions of won, chat logs coordinating the cover-ups, even recordings of phone calls with Detective Han Yuri, the officer who had handled So Young's case, discussing how to make the death look convincing. I sat in that lab for 3 hours after everyone else had gone home, just staring at the screen, at So Young's face frozen in that final frame. I could take it to the police, but Detective Han was the police. I could take it to the media, but half the media executives were on the client list. I could take it to the prosecutors, but they were bought too. The system hadn't failed So Young. The system had killed her. I made a copy of everything. Then another. Then another. Hidden in places no one would think to look. Cloud servers in foreign countries. Encrypted drives in safety deposit boxes. USB sticks hidden in places I won't mention, even now. Then I did something I'd never done in my career. I edited the recovery report. Unable to recover significant data, phone corruption too severe, standard harassment communications found, attached in appendix, nothing requiring immediate action. I submitted the report at 11:47 p.m. Case closed. But for me, everything was just beginning. That night, I went home to my empty apartment. The apartment I used to share with So-young before she moved out to chase her dreams. Her room was exactly as she'd left it. I hadn't touched anything in 3 years. I sat on her bed, surrounded by her things, her dream board still on the wall, pictures of her favorite actors, motivational quotes about never giving up, a photo of us from her high school graduation, both of us smiling like we had our whole lives ahead of us. "I'm scared," she had texted me that last night, and I'd been asleep. I'd been asleep while they were killing her. But I was awake now. I opened my laptop and began to plan. Not revenge. Revenge is emotional, sloppy, dangerous. This would be justice. Methodical, calculated, complete. I would need a new identity to get close to them. I would need allies who understood the system. I would need to become someone else entirely, someone who could walk in their world without suspicion. The quiet tech analyst was dead. She died the moment she saw that video. What was born that night was something else. Something that could smile at monsters while documenting their crimes. Something that could play their game better than they ever could. The Phoenix Club thought they were untouchable. They thought their secrets were buried with their victims. They had no idea what was coming. Because I had something they didn't expect. Something more powerful than money or connections or fear. I had their confession. All of it. Every crime, every payment, every murder. And I had absolutely nothing left to lose. The next morning, I submitted my 2 weeks' notice at work. Told them I needed time to grieve, to travel, to find myself. What I was really doing was beginning my hunt. And the first name on my list? Lee Jae-won. The only idol who had left Phoenix Club alive. The only one who might help me burn it all down. Before I could hunt Choi Sung-ho, I needed to understand him. Really understand him. Not the version sold to millions of fans, but the real man behind the smile. So I went back to the videos, the chat logs, the financial records. I built a timeline of So-young's last 3 weeks, message by message, moment by moment. And I learned how a wolf hunts in designer clothes. Sung-ho debuted with Prism in 2016. Main vocalist, Nation's Angel. The member mothers wanted their daughters to marry. Perfect grades, perfect image, perfect smile. When Prism disbanded in 2021, he didn't disappear like other idols. He evolved. Phoenix Club opened 6 months later, backed by Nam Hyun-woo, son of Nam Industries chairman, marketed as Seoul's most exclusive venue, where celebrities partied, where deals were made, where dreams came true. But Phoenix Club was never about nightlife. It was a hunting ground, and Sung-ho was the perfect hunter. He still did variety shows, still released solo albums, still posted gym selfies and videos of him helping elderly grandmothers cross streets. 30 million Instagram followers watched him volunteer at animal shelters between hosting exclusive parties for aspiring talents. The perfect cover. Who would suspect Korea's golden boy of anything? So-young certainly didn't. August 3rd, 3 weeks before her death, the Instagram DM came at 2:17 p.m. I found it in the recovered data, screenshot and saved in So-young's hidden folder like she knew it might matter someday. Park So-young C? I saw your audition video for our agency's new drama. While you weren't selected for the role, I was personally impressed. I'm hosting a small networking event at Phoenix Club this Friday. Would love to discuss some opportunities. CSH. The blue check mark, the casual tone, the hint of opportunity. So-young screenshot it and sent it to her group chat immediately. OMG, is this real? The Choi Sung-ho just messaged me. Should I go? Her friends' responses were exactly what you'd expect. Excitement, envy, encouragement. Of course she should go. This was her big break. So Young spent 2 days planning her outfit. I found the receipts. A dress that cost her entire month's part-time salary. New shoes that left blisters. Professional makeup that took 3 hours. She arrived at Phoenix Club at 9 p.m. on August 6th. The security footage showed her walking in, nervous but glowing. She never truly left. The first night was perfect. Sung-ho was charming, attentive, professional. He introduced So Young to producers, directors, other idols. The champagne was expensive. The conversations were about art, dreams, the future. He even warned her about the industry's dangers. "Be careful who you trust," he said in a video she secretly recorded on her phone, probably thinking she was capturing career advice from a senior. "Some people will try to take advantage of young talents like you, but don't worry, I'll protect you." The irony was suffocating. Over the next week, the messages increased. Good morning texts, checking if she ate, sending her casting notices that were perfect for her, building trust, building dependence, building a cage she couldn't see. August 13th, the second invitation, this time for a more intimate gathering. Just a few industry insiders, important people who could change her life. The chat logs showed her hesitation. "It's at 11 p.m. Isn't that late?" "Sung-ho oppa. Will other girls be there?" "I don't want people to get the wrong idea." His responses were masterful manipulation. "I understand your concern. That's why I admire you. You're not like other girls who throw themselves at opportunity." "Of course others will be there. I would never put you in an uncomfortable situation. Your talent deserves recognition. But if you're not serious about your career, I understand." That last message did it. The fear of losing opportunity, the shame of being seen as not serious. She agreed to come. August 13th, 11:47 p.m. The second visit was different. Fewer people, dimmer lights, stronger drinks. The recovered videos from that night came from multiple phones, hidden cameras in the VIP rooms, Sung-ho's personal collection, even some from clients who liked to document their experiences. So Young was introduced to Nam Hyun-woo that night, to Detective Han Yuri, who was there off-duty, to Judge Kim Sang-hoon, to pharmaceutical executive Lee Jung-min, all respected members of society, all predators. The drug was in her second drink, Rohypnol mixed with something else, something that made victims compliant but conscious, aware but unable to resist. By 1 a.m., So Young was barely standing. The videos showed Sung-ho supporting her, playing the concerned senior. "She's had too much," he told the others. "I'll take care of her." He took her to VIP room 7, the room with the best cameras, the room where he'd taken 46 other girls. What happened next was recorded from 4 different angles. Every moment, every crime, every face clearly visible. They were so confident in their protection, they didn't even try to hide. So Young woke up the next morning in her own apartment. No memory of how she got there. Her phone missing. Her body telling a story her mind couldn't remember. The text came 3 hours later, from an unknown number. "Check your email." The video was edited, professional quality, showing just enough to destroy her life if released. Her face clear, the men's faces blurred, making it look consensual, making her look eager. "We have hours of footage. Your family will see this, your future employers, everyone, unless you cooperate." That's when I understood the full operation. It wasn't just about trafficking. It was about control, blackmail, creating a stable of victims too terrified to resist. Most girls broke immediately, agreed to return, agreed to work for their silence. But So Young was different. She was our parents' daughter. Stubborn, righteous, angry. She went to the police that same day, filed a report, showed them the threatening messages. Detective Han Yuri took her statement personally, promised to investigate thoroughly, then called Sung-ho before So-young even left the station. The next week was psychological torture. The blackmail escalated. Photos sent to her phone every hour, messages describing what would happen if she didn't withdraw the police report, promises that it would all stop if she just cooperated. But So-young was building her own case, recording calls, saving messages. She even tried to return to Phoenix Club with a hidden camera, but security turned her away. August 21st, 2 days before her death, she sent Sung-ho a message that sealed her fate. "I have evidence, videos of what you really do. I'm going to the media tomorrow. You can't stop me." She was bluffing. She had no videos, but Sung-ho couldn't risk it. The chat logs from his inner circle that night were chilling. "We have a situation. The park girl? Handle it like the others. Make it clean." 27 messages planning my sister's murder, discussing methods, assigning roles, as casual as planning dinner. August 23rd. They took her from her apartment at 2 a.m. The building's security footage was mysteriously corrupted. By 6:15 a.m., she was dead. By noon, it was ruled a suicide. Case closed. 17 girls in 5 years, all following the same pattern. Initial contact through social media, the promise of opportunity, the gradual grooming, the drugged drinks, the filmed assault, the blackmail. Most complied and became regular entertainment for VIP clients. The ones who fought back, who threatened exposure, who went to police, they all committed suicide within weeks. The system was perfect. Sung-ho provided the charm and the cover. Nam Hyun-woo provided the funding and connections. Detective Han buried the investigations. Judge Kim dismissed any cases that somehow made it to court. The clients paid millions for guaranteed silence. Even the location was strategic. Phoenix Club was in Gangnam's diplomatic district. Certain areas had restricted police access. Security cameras had blind spots. Evidence had a way of disappearing. They owned the girls. They owned the police. They owned the system. But they didn't own the data. Every crime leaves digital footprints. Every deleted message exists somewhere. Every video has metadata. Every payment leaves a trail. Sung-ho was meticulous about his public image but careless with his private communications. He thought encryption made him invincible. He thought deleted meant gone forever. He thought wrong. Because while he was building his empire of exploitation, he was also creating a perfect record of his crimes. Frame by frame, message by message, payment by payment. All saved on a gold phone he thought was destroyed. All recovered by the sister of one of his victims. All waiting to burn his kingdom to the ground. I closed my laptop at 4 a.m. that morning. I had seen enough, learned enough, felt enough rage to fuel what came next. Choi Sung-ho, the nation's golden boy, the wolf in designer clothes. He had killed my sister. But worse than that, he had turned her into just another statistic. Another troubled girl who couldn't handle the pressure. He had erased her truth, but I was about to resurrect it, and I knew exactly where to start. With the only person who had escaped Phoenix Club alive. The only idol who had walked away from Sung-ho's empire and lived to stay silent about it. Lee Jae-won. It was time to find out what he knew, and what it would take to make him talk. Lee Jae-won, former member of Atlas, the group that rivaled Prism before both disbanded. The only idol who had been part of Sung-ho's inner circle and walked away breathing. Finding him took 3 days. He'd disappeared from public life 18 months ago. No farewell message, no scandal. Just gone. His agency said, personal reasons. His members said, health issues. The media moved on within a week. But I knew how to find people who didn't want to be found. Social media was useless, all accounts deleted. Phone number changed. Even his family claimed they'd lost contact. But everyone leaves digital breadcrumbs. Credit card records showed monthly payments to a boxing gym in Mangwon-dong. Security footage from traffic cameras caught him buying coffee at 6 a.m. every Tuesday from the same shop. His VPN login showed activity from a PC bang in Hongdae every Friday night. Patterns, routines, the things we do when we think no one's watching. October 24th, 6:03 a.m. I waited at the coffee shop. He looked different. The idol shine was gone. Bleached hair grown out to natural black. Designer clothes replaced with worn hoodies, the kind of invisible that took effort. When he saw me watching, he turned to leave immediately. He knew what I was before I said a word. People seeking him out meant trouble. I know what happened at Phoenix Club. He stopped, turned. His eyes were already calculating exits. I know what Sung-ho really is, and I know why you ran. You're a reporter, he said, not a question. I'm Park So-young's sister. The name hit him like a physical blow. He sat down across from me without another word. Chaewon didn't speak for 5 minutes, just stared at his coffee getting cold. When he finally looked up, his eyes were haunted. I tried to warn her, he said. That night, August 13th. I saw her at the club, saw who she was with. I tried to pull her aside, tell her to leave. But security stopped me. Sung-ho's orders. I was already on the outside by then. He'd been part of it once, not by choice, he claimed. It started the same way. Invitation to Phoenix Club, promises of connections, gradual involvement. But unlike the girls, male idols weren't victims. They were expected to become accomplices. They ease you into it, he explained. First, you're just there. Then you're bringing friends. Then you're helping convince girls it's safe. By the time you realize what's really happening, you're already complicit. Your career depends on silence. But Jaewon had a sister too. Younger, 17. When Sung-ho suggested she might enjoy visiting Phoenix Club, something in Jaewon snapped. I told him I was done, that night, in front of everyone. Nam Hyun-woo laughed, said no one leaves Phoenix, that they owned me. They destroyed his career within a month. Anonymous rumors about drug use. Edited photos suggesting mental illness. His agency dropped him. His members were told to cut contact. But they let me live, he said bitterly. Because I didn't have evidence, because I was too scared to talk, because they knew I'd learned my lesson. What if I told you I have evidence? I asked. Everything. Videos, financial records, murder plans, enough to destroy them all. His coffee cup shook as he set it down. They'll kill you. They already killed the only family I had. What else can they take? He studied me for a long moment. You're not here for justice. You're here for revenge. I'm here for both, and I need your help. My original plan was simple. Release everything online. Let the public judge. Let the system burn. Chaewon laughed. Not cruelly, just tired. You think truth matters? Half those videos could go viral tomorrow and nothing would happen. Nam's family owns 3 media conglomerates. They'd bury it. Call it deepfakes. Sue anyone who shares it. The victims would be blamed. The police would investigate you, not them. He was right. I'd been naive. Truth alone wasn't enough, not in their world. You need to destroy them from inside, he said. Make them turn on each other. Make it impossible to cover up. Make it cost more to protect them than to sacrifice them. That's when I told him my real plan. I would become someone else, someone they'd never suspect. A wealthy investor from Singapore, interested in expanding Phoenix Club internationally. New money, clean background, eager to learn their business. I've already built the identity, I explained. Shin-yoon-ah, inheritance from tech parents, party lifestyle, Instagram full of yacht photos and designer goods, the kind of person Sung-ho would want to impress. Chaewon would be my way in, my credibility. He still had connections, people who owed him favors. He could vouch for Yuna, make the introduction seem organic. "You're asking me to go back," he said, "to face them again. I'm asking you to help me end them." He was quiet for so long I thought he'd refuse. Then, "So young, in the videos. Was she?" "She fought," I said, "until the very end. She never stopped fighting." Like her sister. We shook hands. Two broken people united by loss. Two survivors planning a war. Creating a convincing false identity takes more than fake documents. It takes a living history. I spent 2 weeks building Shin Yuna's digital footprint. Instagram posts backdated 3 years. Fabricated school records from international schools. Staged photos from locations I'd never visited. A LinkedIn showing investments in Singapore nightlife venues. The hardest part was the money, making it look real. I liquidated everything. My apartment, my savings, my parents' life insurance. 300 million won, enough to play rich for a few months. Chaewon taught me their world. How to hold champagne. Which brands mattered. The casual arrogance of inherited wealth. How to make people think you belonged. "Never try too hard," he said. "Rich kids don't impress. They expect to be impressed." I cut my hair, learned to do makeup that cost more than my old monthly salary, bought clothes that felt like costumes, practiced my laugh until it sounded like I'd never known sadness. November 7th. I looked in the mirror and didn't recognize myself. Perfect. The girl in the mirror could walk into Phoenix Club and order bottle service without blinking, could smile at monsters and make them trust her, could get close enough to document everything. Min-jung was gone. Shin Yoon-ah was born. The approach had to be perfect. Too eager, and they'd suspect. Too aloof, and they'd ignore. Chaewon arranged it beautifully. A chance encounter at a gallery opening in Cheongdam. Sung-ho was there for the cameras. I was there as Yoon-ah, admiring art I didn't understand, drinking wine that tasted like disappointment. Chaewon played his part flawlessly, the reformed bad boy, now into art, introducing his friend from Singapore to Seoul's scene, mentioning casually that I was looking to invest in entertainment ventures. Sung-ho's interest was instant. You could see the calculation in his eyes. Foreign money, female, young, perfect. "Phoenix Club?" I said when he mentioned it, with practiced disinterest. "I think I've heard of it. Isn't it rather small?" The insult to his pride was calculated. He spent the next hour explaining his vision. Expansion to Tokyo, Bangkok, Singapore. VIP experiences that would revolutionize luxury entertainment. "You should come see it," he offered, "as my personal guest. Tomorrow night?" "I suppose I could stop by," I said, checking my phone like I had better options. "If you think it's worth my time." When we left, Chaewon was shaking. He looked right at you and didn't see her, didn't see So Young in your eyes. "Good," I said. "He'll never see me coming." November 8th, 10 p.m., Phoenix Club. Walking through those doors knowing what happened there, knowing what happened to So Young there, took every ounce of control I had. The public area was spectacular. Crystal chandeliers, live performances, beautiful people drinking beautiful drinks, the Seoul elite playing at decadence. But I saw the hidden cameras, the VIP room entrances, the security that was more military than civilian, the girls who smiled too bright and laughed too loud. Sung-ho gave me the grand tour. His pride in the place was genuine. This was his creation, his kingdom. "The real business happens upstairs," he said, leading me to the VIP floor. Private rooms for special clients, exclusive experiences. Room 7, the room from the videos, the room where So Young. Impressive, I managed, my voice steady. The Singapore market would appreciate this level of discretion. He smiled, that famous smile that millions loved, that smile that hid a monster. I think we're going to work very well together, Yunasi. I smiled back, imagining his face when he realized who I really was, what I was really doing. I think so too, Sung-ho-si. I have a feeling this partnership is going to change both our lives. He had no idea how true that was. That night, I became a regular at Phoenix Club, the Singaporean investor everyone wanted to know. I threw money around like water, bought tables, bought friends, bought trust. Within a week, I was inner circle. Within 2, I was attending the special parties, the ones that started after 2 a.m., the ones where the real business happened. I documented everything, hidden cameras in my designer bags, recording devices in my jewelry, every conversation, every transaction, every crime. But I had to be careful. One mistake, one moment of breaking character, and I'd end up like the 17 girls before So Young. The hardest part was watching it happen. Seeing new girls arrive, bright-eyed and hopeful, watching them be groomed, knowing what was coming. I saved who I could. Anonymous warnings, accidentally, spilled drinks before they could be drugged. But I couldn't save them all, not yet. Chaewon was my anchor. We met every few days, sharing information, planning next moves. He introduced me to others who'd been hurt by Phoenix, former employees with grudges, girls who'd survived but never spoke, building a network of witnesses. "How long?" he asked one night. "How long before you have enough?" "Soon," I promised. "The anniversary party, December 23rd. That's when we burn it all down." December 23rd. 3 months after finding the phone. The 1-year anniversary of Phoenix Club's VIP program launch. The night they'd celebrate their empire of evil. The night I'd reveal every secret they thought they'd buried. The night the Phoenix would finally burn. But first, I had to survive getting deeper. I had to meet the puppet master, the man behind Sung-ho, Nam Hyun-woo, the real monster in this story. And he was already suspicious of the new player in his game. November 19th. I'd been Shin Yuna for 12 days when the summons came. Not from Sung-ho, from Nam Hyun-woo himself. "Mr. Nam would like to discuss your investment proposal." The message came through Sung-ho, but the power dynamics were clear. This wasn't an invitation. It was a command. Chaewon went pale when I told him. "You don't understand. Nam doesn't meet investors. He doesn't need to. His family owns half of Gangnam. If he wants to meet you, it's because he suspects something. Or because he wants something, which might be worse." Nam Hyun-woo, 45, third son of Nam Industries chairman, the disappointing son who turned his trust fund into an empire of vice. On paper, he owned logistics companies and import-export businesses. In reality, he owned people. The meeting was set for his private office, top floor of Nam Tower, 9 p.m. Come alone. I spent the day before preparing, reviewing everything I knew about him, his interests, art, horses, European wine, his weaknesses, ego, younger brother complex, need for respect his family denied him, his patterns, always recorded meetings, always had leverage, always 3 moves ahead. But there was something else I'd discovered in the Phoenix Club files, something even Sung-ho didn't know. Nam was dying. Pancreatic cancer, stage 3. Maybe a year left. He was building something to outlast him. Phoenix Club wasn't just business. It was his legacy. A dying man with nothing to lose. the most dangerous kind of monster. Nam Tower at night looked like a blade cutting into Seoul's sky. His office occupied the entire top floor. Just him, 2 bodyguards, and a view of the city he thought he owned. He didn't look like a monster. Expensive suit hanging loose on a thinning frame. Elegant hands that had never done their own violence. The kind of face you'd forget if you didn't know what it had ordered. "Shin Yoon-ah," he said, not standing. "The Singaporean mystery. Please, sit." The chair was lower than his, a power play so obvious it was almost insulting. "You've impressed Sung-ho," he continued. "Not easy to do. He says you want to invest $50 million in Phoenix expansion." "Singapore alone could triple your revenue," I replied, keeping Yoon-ah's casual arrogance. "But I need to understand the full operation before committing." "The full operation." He smiled, knowing. Most investors only care about returns. I'm not most investors. No, you're not. He pulled out a tablet. Security footage from Phoenix Club. Me, talking to one of the girls, warning her subtly, helping her leave early. Curious behavior for someone interested in our business model. My heart was hammering, but Yoon-ah wouldn't flinch. "Due diligence," I said. "Sloppy operations create liability. That girl was obviously underage. Bad for business if authorities notice." "We own the authorities." "In Seoul, not in Singapore." He studied me for a long moment, then laughed. A sound like grinding glass. "You know what I think? I think you're exactly what you appear to be. Rich, bored, playing at being dangerous. I've seen 100 versions of you. Trust fund babies who think crime is exciting. Let him believe that. Let him underestimate me." "But you're also smart," he continued. "Smart enough to be useful. So I'm going to make you an offer." Nam opened his desk drawer. Inside were photographs, not victims, clients, politicians, CEOs, foreign diplomats, even American military officers, all captured in compromising positions at Phoenix Club. "This is the real business," he said. "Not trafficking. Control. These men shape policy, move markets, start wars, and they all owe me." The scope was staggering. Phoenix Club wasn't just exploiting women. It was a blackmail operation targeting the most powerful men in Asia. "Your Singapore expansion interests me," he said, "but not for the reason you think. Singapore is the gateway to Southeast Asia. Officials from 12 countries pass through. Imagine the leverage." He was offering me partnership in something beyond my worst assumptions. Not just crime, geopolitical manipulation. "What makes you think I want that kind of power?" "Because you're here. Because you didn't run when you saw what Phoenix really was. Because power is the only thing worth having when money becomes boring." He leaned back, watching me process this. "But first, you need to prove yourself. Show me you're not just another rich girl playing gangster." "How?" "There's a detective, Han Yuri. She's been useful, but lately, unreliable. Drinking, talking about conscience, becoming a liability." My blood went cold. Han Yuri, the officer who covered up So Young's murder. "I need someone to remind her who owns her. Someone she won't expect. A woman. You." He slid a file across the desk. Photos of Han at bars, her apartment address, her daughter's school. "Make her understand her position. Use whatever methods you feel appropriate. Consider it your entrance exam." I found Han Yuri at her usual bar in Mapo, 11 p.m., already 3 bottles deep into soju, the kind of drinking that wasn't for pleasure but for forgetting. She looked smaller without her uniform, just another middle-aged woman drowning sorrows. I sat beside her, ordered the same cheap soju. "Detective Han?" Her hand moved to where her service weapon would be, then relaxed. I was just a young woman in expensive clothes. I'm not a detective tonight. But you were 3 years ago, August 23rd, the Park So-young case. The glass stopped halfway to her mouth. You wrote the suicide report in 1 day. No autopsy, no investigation, just a grieving family and a closed case. Who are you? Someone who knows you have a 13-year-old daughter, goes to Seoul International School, expensive for a detective's salary, but then you have other income sources. She stood to leave. I grabbed her wrist, let her feel Yuna's strength. Nam sent me. He's concerned about your recent instability. Wants to ensure you remember your obligations. I've done everything they asked. Not everything. You kept copies, insurance files, hidden in your apartment. Nam knows. He's disappointed. It was a guess, but her face confirmed it. Every corrupt cop keeps insurance. So here's what happens. Tomorrow, you destroy everything. Every file, every recording, every piece of evidence about Phoenix Club. Then you submit your resignation. Mental health leave. Full pension. You disappear quietly. Or your daughter learns what her mother really is, what you've done, who you've killed. The word killed hit like I'd wanted. She crumbled. I didn't kill anyone. I just didn't investigate. They were already dead. 17 girls. You signed 17 fraudulent death certificates. That's 17 murders you enabled. She was crying now. Ugly, honest tears. I have nightmares. Every night. Their faces. The families asking questions I couldn't answer. Part of me wanted to reveal myself. To scream that one of those faces was my sister. But Yuna wouldn't care about that. Tomorrow, I said. Destroy everything. Resign. Disappear. Or I come for your daughter. I left her there, sobbing into cheap soju. Another broken piece in Nam's machine. November 21st. Han Yuri resigned from Seoul Metropolitan Police. Mental exhaustion. 20-year career ended in a 2-line statement. Nam was pleased. Efficient. Clean. No unnecessary violence. He approved. You have potential. I was fully inside now, trusted with real operations, attending the planning meetings, learning how deep the corruption went. The judge who dismissed charges, Kim Sang-hoon, was being promoted to the Supreme Court. The pharmaceutical executive who supplied the drugs, Lee Jung-min, just got a government contract worth billions. Every tentacle of Phoenix Club was growing stronger, but I was documenting everything, recording every meeting, copying every file, building a case that would destroy them all. Chae-won helped from the outside, identifying victims willing to testify if protected, finding journalists not owned by Nam, building escape routes for when it all exploded. You're changing, he told me one night, becoming more like them. He was right. Yuna was taking over. The casual cruelty, the calculated thinking, the ability to smile while planning destruction. Just until December 23rd, I promised. Then Yuna dies and Min-jung comes back. But I wasn't sure Min-jung existed anymore. She'd been buried with So-young. What remained was something else. Something forged in grief and sharpened by rage. Something that could look Nam Hyun-woo in the eye and smile while planning his annihilation. December 1st, 3 weeks until the anniversary party. Nam called another meeting, this time with Sung-ho present, the three of us, the trinity of evil. The party will be special, Nam announced. International clients, a demonstration of our new capabilities, the Singapore expansion announcement. He looked at me. You'll be co-host. Introduce our foreign guests to Korean hospitality. Co-host. Public face. Fully complicit. We'll need new products, Sung-ho added casually. Fresh faces. I have scouts at university festivals this week. products. That's what they called them. Not women. Products. Actually, I said, the idea forming as I spoke, I might have something better. For the anniversary. A special show. They both looked interested. What if we gave them something they've never seen? Not just girls, but revenge. Revenge? There's a journalist, Kim Ji-won. She's been investigating Phoenix Club, getting close to uncomfortable truths. What if we made her the entertainment? Show our clients what happens to those who oppose us. Live. It was a risk. Proposing something so evil even they might balk. But Nam's eyes lit up. A public lesson. I like it. Make the arrangements. I nodded, already planning. Kim Ji-won was real. She was investigating. But she was also my contact. The journalist who would receive all my evidence. This would get her inside Phoenix Club on December 23rd. One more thing, Nam said as the meeting ended. I've been investigating you, Shin Yuna. Your background. Your family. My heart stopped. Everything checks out, almost too perfectly, like someone built an identity designed to pass inspection. Sung-ho looked confused. Nam smiled. Either you're the best liar I've ever met, or you're exactly what you claim. Either way, you're useful. For now. The threat was clear. He suspected but didn't care, as long as I served his purpose. December 23rd couldn't come fast enough. 3 weeks. I had 3 weeks to finalize everything. The evidence was complete. 47 victims documented. Financial records showing 3 billion won in illegal profits. Videos of 15 murders being planned. Enough to destroy everyone involved. But Nam's comment haunted me. He knew something was off. Was letting it play out. Why? Chaewon had a theory. He's dying. He knows it. Maybe he wants it all to burn. Maybe you're his way of choosing how it ends. Or maybe he's setting a trap. Then spring it first. The anniversary party would host 200 guests, the elite of Seoul's underworld, all gathered in one place, all complicit, all vulnerable. I would be on that stage, co-hosting their celebration, with access to the AV system, the screens, the broadcast equipment, one USB drive, one upload, every crime displayed on every screen, broadcast live to social media, sent to every news outlet, irreversible, undeniable. The phoenix would burn from the inside, and I would light the match. But first I had to survive 3 more weeks as Shin Yuna, 3 more weeks of smiling at monsters, 3 more weeks until So Young got justice. The hardest 3 weeks of my life were about to begin. December 23rd, 6 p.m., 3 hours before the anniversary party. I stood in my apartment, Yuna's apartment, staring at 2 phones. One belonged to Shin Yuna, full of messages from Sung-ho about tonight's arrangements. The other was Min-jung's, hidden for months, containing every piece of evidence I'd gathered. Chaewon was already at Phoenix Club, setting up our insurance, hidden cameras in addition to theirs, broadcasting equipment that would stream directly to international servers, backup plans for the backup plans. Kim Ji-won, the journalist, was in position. She'd arrived as planned, kidnapped by Nam's men who thought they were grabbing an enemy. They didn't know she'd been sedated with sugar pills, that her terror was performed, that she had a camera in her necklace recording everything. The USB drive was sewn into my dress, a designer piece worth millions, hiding evidence that would topple empires. I looked in the mirror one last time. Diamond earrings. So Young would have loved. A dress she would have dreamed of wearing. The face of her sister, transformed into someone she wouldn't recognize. Tonight, So Young, I whispered. Tonight they all pay. My phone buzzed. Sung-ho. Car is outside. Don't be late. Nam specifically asked for you. Of course he did. The puppet master wanted his newest puppet close. I took one last look at So Young's photo on my hidden phone. Her smile, her innocence, everything they stole. Then I became Shin Yun-ah for the last time. Phoenix Club had been transformed into hell dressed as heaven. Ice sculptures of phoenixes rising from flames. Champagne fountains that looked like liquid gold. 200 of Seoul's elite monsters, all in designer suits and blood money jewelry. I recognized faces from the news, a minister of justice, 3 chaebol CEOs, foreign diplomats, even a famous actor who played heroes on screen. They all knew what Phoenix Club really was. They were all here to celebrate it. Sung-ho greeted me with his camera-ready smile. "You look perfect. Nam's in the VIP room. He wants to brief us before the main event." The main event. I'd seen the program. Entertainment at 10 p.m., special surprise at 11 p.m. They thought the surprise would be Kim Ji-won's public humiliation, the journalist who dared investigate them, punished for all to see. They had no idea what the real surprise would be. Nam was holding court in VIP room 7, the room where So-young died. He'd chosen it deliberately, knowing I knew what happened there. Another test, another power play. "Ah, our Singaporean princess," he said. "Ready for your debut?" "More than ready." "Good, because after tonight you'll be more than an investor. You'll be family, bound to us forever." He handed me a champagne glass, watched me drink, making sure I wasn't backing out. "The journalist is downstairs," he continued. "Sung-ho will introduce her at 11. You'll announce what she's done. I'll explain the consequences. Then our special guests from Japan will handle the rest. Publicly. Everyone watches. Everyone understands. And if she talks, she won't." His smile was death. "Not after tonight. No one ever talks after tonight." 10 p.m. The main floor lights dimmed. Sung-ho took the stage. "Friends, partners, family," he began, his voice honey and poison. "1 year ago, we launched something special. Not just a club, a community, a place where the elite could truly be free." Applause. These people applauding their own evil. "Tonight, we celebrate our success, our expansion, our future. But first, entertainment." The screens lit up. Music started. Girls were brought out. New faces, young, terrified, drugged to compliance. The auction started immediately, bidding for private meetings. I stood next to Nam, playing my part, smiling, applauding, dying inside as I watched these girls, someone's sisters, daughters, friends, sold like property. 40 minutes of horror, 40 minutes of documentation. Every face, every bid, every crime recorded on the cameras we'd hidden. Then 10:50 p.m. Almost time. I excused myself. Need to check on the journalist, make sure she's ready for her debut. Nam nodded. "Don't be late. You're introducing her, remember?" I went backstage, found the AV control room. The technician barely looked up when I entered. Why would he? I was Shin Yun-ah. I belonged there. The USB drive came out of my dress, into the main system. A program Jae-won had written began uploading. Every screen in the building now under our control. Every camera feeding to our servers. 10:55 p.m. I returned to the main floor, took my position on stage. Sung-ho handed me the microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," I announced, "what you're about to see will change everything." 11 p.m. exactly. Every screen in Phoenix Club lit up simultaneously. Not with Kim Ji-won being dragged on stage as planned, but with Sung-ho's golden phone, with the videos, with everything. The first video, So-young being forced to read her suicide note. The room froze, 200 guilty faces turning white. The screen split, 4 videos playing at once, different victims, different nights, all the same crime. Then the audio started. Nam's voice. Handle it like the others. Make it clean. Detective Han's voice. The Park girl is taken care of. Suicide ruling confirmed. Judge Kim's voice. Dismissed for lack of evidence, as always. I still had the microphone. The room was too shocked to stop me. My name is not Shin Yun-ah, I said, my voice carrying over the horror on screen. My name is Park Min-jung. Park So-young was my sister. You murdered her. You murdered 17 girls. And now, everyone will know. Chaos. Some ran for exits, locked. Chaewon had sealed them from outside. Others pulled out phones. No signal. We'd jammed everything except our own broadcast equipment. The screens kept playing. Financial records, client lists, murder planning sessions, everything. And it wasn't just playing here. It was streaming, live, to every major news outlet, to social media, to prosecutors in 5 countries, to Interpol, to anyone who would listen. Nam stood perfectly still in the center of the chaos, watching me, and he was smiling. Brilliant, he said, loud enough for me to hear. Absolutely brilliant. Sung-ho charged the stage, not at me, at the AV room. But it was too late. The upload was complete. The evidence dispersed to 100 servers worldwide. Security moved in. Nam's private army. But they stopped when police sirens started. Real police. Not the corrupt ones. A special unit that Kim Ji-won had alerted. They'd been waiting for the signal. The broadcast was it. You knew, I said to Nam through the chaos. You knew who I was. He walked toward the stage, ignoring the panic around him. I suspected. Your story was too perfect. Your timing too convenient. But I wanted to see if you could do it. If you had the strength to burn it all down. Why? Because I'm dying. Because my brothers were always going to destroy what I built after I'm gone. Because if it had to end, I wanted it to end spectacularly. He coughed, blood on his handkerchief. You gave me what chemotherapy couldn't. A legacy. The man who built the most powerful criminal empire in Seoul. Even in death, I'll be remembered. You'll be remembered as a monster. All great men are. The police were breaking down doors. Sung-ho was trying to destroy evidence that no longer mattered. Clients were calling lawyers who couldn't help them. Nam pulled out a gun. For a moment, I thought he'd shoot me, complete his legacy with one last murder. Instead, he put it to his own temple. Give my regards to your sister. The sound was swallowed by sirens and screaming. Nam Hyun-woo died as he lived, in control until the end. The arrests started immediately. Sung-ho was dragged out in handcuffs, his perfect face finally showing real fear. Judge Kim was taken from his home in his pajamas. The Minister of Justice was arrested at the airport trying to flee. But more importantly, the victims started talking. The broadcast had broken their silence. They saw others speaking out. They realized they weren't alone. 47 women came forward in the first hour. More would follow. Kim Ji-won was freed, her hidden camera footage adding to the evidence. She had recorded Nam's entire confession, his acknowledgement of the murders, his pride in the system he'd built. Chaewon found me on the stage, still holding the microphone, staring at Nam's body. It's over, he said. But it wasn't. Not yet. I walked to where Sung-ho was being held, waiting for transport. He looked up at me with eyes that finally showed recognition. So-young's sister, he whispered. I should have seen it. The eyes. She had the same eyes. She had more than that, I said. She had courage you'll never understand. She fought you. Even drugged, even terrified, she fought. And in the end, she won. She's dead. I'm alive. I'll get the best lawyers. You'll rot in prison. Every victim will testify. Every video will be played, every crime exposed. You'll be remembered not as an idol, but as a predator. Your music will be banned, your shows erased. You'll be nothing but a cautionary tale. I leaned close enough for only him to hear. So-young wanted to be an actress. She wanted to tell stories that moved people. Thanks to you, she has. Her story will destroy you and save countless others. She's more alive now than you'll ever be again. I walked away as they dragged him to the police van, his screams of innocence fooling no one. The Phoenix Club was closed that night, yellow tape and evidence markers replacing velvet ropes and champagne. I gave my testimony for 12 straight hours. Every detail, every crime, every piece of evidence authenticated and explained. When I finally walked out of the police station, it was dawn. December 24th, Christmas Eve. Chaewon was waiting. So was Kim Ji-won. And behind them, dozens of survivors. Women who'd been victims, now witnesses. Women who'd been silent, now voices. "What now?" Chaewon asked. I thought about So-young, about what she'd want. She'd want the story to matter, to change things, to save others. "Now we make sure this never happens again," I said. "We push for new laws. We support the survivors. We build something from these ashes." One of the women, barely 20, approached me. "You saved us," she said. "No," I replied. "We saved each other." As the sun rose over Seoul, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Not satisfaction. The cost had been too high. Not happiness. So-young was still gone. But purpose. The phoenix had burned. From its ashes, something new would rise. Something So-young would have been proud of. The hunt was over. The healing could begin. The trials lasted 6 months. 143 defendants. Prosecutors said it was the largest human trafficking case in South Korean history. The international media called it the Phoenix Scandal. But for me, it was simply the long road to justice. I testified 23 times, each time facing men who'd bought and sold women like property, each time holding So-young's picture in my pocket, each time speaking not just for her, but for all 17 who couldn't speak. Sung-ho got life without parole. The judge, a woman, Judge Park Yoon-ji, made him stand as she read every victim's name. 47 names, 17 dead. When she reached Park So-young, he collapsed. The golden boy finally understanding he'd never see freedom again. Detective Han Yuri surprised everyone. She returned from hiding to testify for the prosecution. Full confession, every cover-up detailed, every bribe documented. She got 15 years but said it wasn't enough. Said she'd serve 1,000 years if it could bring back even one girl. Judge Kim, the one who'd dismissed all those cases, tried to claim ignorance. The videos proved otherwise. 25 years. His Supreme Court nomination became a prison sentence. But the most important trial wasn't in the courtroom. It was in the public consciousness. The Phoenix Scandal changed everything. The law that had protected these men now hunted them. The shame that had silenced victims now fell on perpetrators. Some committed suicide rather than face justice. Cowards to the end. Others fled the country, becoming fugitives, forever looking over their shoulders. The rest faced their fate. Prison. Disgrace. The complete destruction of everything they'd built on suffering. With the settlement money from the civil suits, 3 billion won seized from Phoenix Club accounts, we built something new. The So-young Foundation, not just for trafficking victims, for anyone silenced by power, anyone betrayed by those meant to protect them, anyone who needed to be heard. Chaewon became our public face. His story of redemption resonated. The idol who'd walked away from evil and helped destroy it. He used his remaining fame for something meaningful. Kim Ji-won led our media team. Every story verified, every victim's privacy protected. every predator exposed. She won the Korean Press Award for her Phoenix Club coverage. She dedicated it to So-young. I remained in the shadows, officially. Park Min-jung, the quiet sister who'd exposed an empire, preferred to work behind the scenes, but everyone knew who really ran the foundation. Our first year, we helped 230 women, got them therapy, legal aid, new identities if needed, helped them reclaim their lives from the ashes of what had been taken. Our second year, we expanded internationally. Singapore, Tokyo, Bangkok. Anywhere Phoenix Club had planned to spread, we got there first. We became the Phoenixes, rising from destruction, reborn from trauma, stronger than before. Prison visits weren't allowed for Sung-ho, special restriction due to security concerns. He'd been attacked 5 times by other inmates. Even murderers hated what he was. But I received a letter from him, 1 year after the trial. I think about her, so young, every day, not what I did, but who she was. You were right. She was brave, braver than I ever was. I wore masks my whole life. She died being herself. I burned the letter. He didn't deserve forgiveness, didn't deserve to speak her name. But others reached out with genuine remorse. Lower-level employees who'd turned blind eyes, security who'd followed orders. They sent donations to the foundation, volunteered for community service, tried to atone for their silence. I accepted their help, but never their apologies. Apologies were for the dead to grant, and the dead were silent. The strangest visitor came 18 months after the trials. Nam Hyun-woo's widow. A woman I'd never seen at Phoenix Club, never seen in any of the files. I knew, she said simply, about everything. I stayed silent for my children, for comfort, for fear. She handed me a check, 1 billion won, her entire inheritance. Blood money, she said. I don't want it. Maybe it can do some good now. We used it to build a safe house, secret location, state-of-the-art security, a place where women could hide while building cases against their abusers. We called it So-young's house. December 23rd, 3 years after Phoenix burned. I stood at So-young's grave with fresh flowers, white chrysanthemums, her favorites. The headstone had been updated with a simple addition. She fought back. The cemetery was quiet except for the wind. But I wasn't alone. 47 women stood with me, survivors, each holding a white chrysanthemum, each alive because So-young's death had exposed their captors. We didn't speak, didn't need to, just stood together, the living honoring the dead who'd made their freedom possible. After an hour, they left one by one, each placing their flower on the grave, each whispering their own thanks. Finally, only Jae-won remained. She would be proud, he said. She would be angry it took so long. That too. We stood in comfortable silence, 2 damaged people who'd found purpose in destruction and rebuilding. Min-jung, he said eventually. When do you stop? When is it enough? I thought about it. About the new cases coming in daily. The powerful men still hunting. The systems still protecting them. When no sister has to become what I became to get justice. When the system protects victims instead of predators. When So-young's story is history, not headline. So never. So never. He nodded, understanding. We walked away together, leaving So-young surrounded by flowers and love she never got to feel in life. 6 months ago, I found one more video on a backup drive I'd missed, dated August 1st, 2 days before Sung-ho first contacted her. So-young had recorded herself practicing for an audition. She was reading a monologue about justice, about fighting back, about refusing to be silenced. The irony was almost unbearable. But at the end, she broke character, looked directly at the camera, smiled that smile that could light up rooms. "Min-jung Oni," she said. "If you're watching this, it means I got the part. Or maybe I didn't, and you're going through my things because I died of embarrassment." She laughed. God, I'd forgotten that laugh. Either way, thank you for believing in me, for letting me chase this crazy dream, for being the best sister even when I was annoying. I know I don't say it enough, but you're my hero. You always have been. The quiet one who gets things done. The strong one who protects everyone. She paused, suddenly serious. "If something ever happens to me, which it won't, I'm being dramatic. But if it does, don't blame yourself. Don't stop living, and don't let them win, whoever they are. You're Park Min-jung. You don't let anyone win." The video ended. I watched it every morning now. A reminder, not of what I'd lost, but of what I was fighting for. The girl who believed her quiet sister was a hero, who trusted me to not let them win. I hadn't let them win. The Phoenix Club was ashes. Its architects were caged or dead. Its victims were survivors. Its story was a warning. But more than that, So-young's dream had come true. She'd wanted to tell stories that moved people. Her story had moved a nation, changed laws, saved lives. She'd become the actress she'd always dreamed of being, playing the role that mattered most, the victim who became the victory. Today, I run the So-young Foundation full-time. We have offices in 12 countries, 300 employees, thousands of success stories. But I also have a side project. Every Phoenix Club client thought their crimes died with the club. They were wrong. I kept copies of everything, and one by one, when they feel safe, when they think they've escaped, I send them a message, a single photo, their face at Phoenix Club, a date for public release, a chance to confess before exposure. Most confess. The smart ones. The others? Well, the internet never forgets. Neither do I. Sung-ho was wrong about something. He said I'd become like them, that hunting monsters would make me monstrous. But I'm not like them. I'm worse. I'm their consequence, their karma, their absolute ending. I'm the sister they should have feared more than the law. My name is Park Min-jung. I was a quiet data analyst who loved her sister. Then they killed her and created something else. Now I'm the phoenix that rose from So-young's ashes, and I'm still burning. The Phoenix Club is gone. But phoenixes? Phoenixes are eternal. This isn't the end of the story. It's the beginning of a revolution. One survivor at a time. One predator at a time. One sister's love refusing to die. So-young once texted me, "I'm scared." Now it's their turn to be scared. Every single day, forever. They say revenge is a dish best served cold. They're wrong. Justice is the dish. Revenge is just the seasoning. And I've developed quite a taste for both. So-young, we won.